Shalom, Hebrews. I'm very excited to share the information I have today, titled The Third Beast, Daniel chapter 8, 9, 10, and 11. Our purpose in creating this channel is to encourage our listeners to start thinking like Hebrews. This means the information you received in Christianity is very flawed. Most Israelites today that left Christianity still keep a lot of the teachings, especially when it comes to end time prophecy. The book of Daniel is a prime example. My goal today is to expose and lay a foundation to put you on the correct path. Before I deal with the chapters in my title, we must understand that Nebuchadnezzar's dream and Daniel's vision is one and the same. Let's take a look at them both. Nebuchadnezzar's dream was a great image. The head was gold, its breast and arms were silver, its belly and thighs was brass, and its legs iron. Its feet part iron and clay. Daniel chapter 2 verses 38 to 40 gives us the interpretation of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. It reads, "And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven had he given into thine hands, and had made thee ruler over them all. Thou art the head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron break in pieces, and subdue all things. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise." Now let's look at Daniel's vision. Daniel saw four great beasts. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. The second was like a bear, and the third was like a leopard, and the fourth had iron teeth and 10 horns. Now let's read the interpretation of Daniel's vision. Daniel chapter 7 verses 17 to 19. And it reads, "These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devour and break in pieces, and stamp the residue with his feet." So we see Nebuchadnezzar was told of four kingdoms. Daniel was told of four kings. And the fourth kingdom or king was going to be of iron, and stamp and break in pieces and rule. I had to lay that foundation so that we can continue, so that as we continue, we'll begin to see that almost all of Daniel surrounds these beasts, kings, or kingdom, but especially the first three kingdoms. So let's begin with Daniel chapter 8. Daniel had a vision of a ram and a goat. The ram was powerful and was ruling without competition. Then out of nowhere there came a goat who struck the ram down to the ground and stomped on him. In Daniel chapter 8 verses 19 to 22, the angel tells Daniel what the meaning of this vision is. It reads, "And he said, Behold, I will make thee known what shall be in the last end of indignation, for at the time appointed the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of the Medes and Persia. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power." Remember my earlier statement about the kings and kingdom. Well, did you notice that Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon is not in the picture? Most end-time preachers and teachers teach that Daniel chapter 8 is talking about the end of the world or the last days. I want us to use our God-given Hebrew mindset and read the first chapter of Daniel chapter 9 verse 1. And it reads, "In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans, The angel told Daniel in Daniel chapter 8, verses 20, that the ram was the Media and Persian kingdom. And we see in chapter 9, verse 1, Daniel was living in the Media and Persia kingdom. So my question to you is, how can this chapter be talking about the end times as in today's times and beyond? It can't. Daniel told Nebuchadnezzar that he was the first kingdom, and after him another kingdom would arise. This would be the Medes and the Persian Empire. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob says, it's time for us to wake up, Hebrews. No longer will we continue to be led astray by false teaching. Now let's move to Daniel chapter 10. Daniel was living during the time of another king by the name of Cyrus. Cyrus is still part of the Media and Persia kingdom. Verses 20 to 21 of chapter 10 reads, Then said he, Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. But I will show thee that which is noted in the scriptures of truth. And there is none that holdeth with me in these things, but Michael, your prince. So we see that the angel tells Daniel that when he leaves, the kingdom of Grecia is coming. Daniel 8, 9, and 10 is clearly talking about Persia and Greece. So can we guess what chapter 11 is about? Well, let's let verse 1 and 2 speak for itself. It reads, And I, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I, stood to confirm and to strengthen him. And now, when will I show thee the truth? Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the fourth shall be far richer than them all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. Hebrews. Either I can't read well, or my English understanding isn't clear, because what I just read in verses 1 and 2 of chapter 11 is still talking about Persia and Greece. The reason why almost every Israelite teaches that Daniel chapter 11 is speaking of the Antichrist in the future is because they learned this doctrine in the church and kept it alive when they woke up to being Israelites. It's time to wake up and read with a Hebrew mindset. Another nugget to unlocking the truth about Daniel chapter 11 is verses 3 and 4. It reads, And a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided towards the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others besides those. So what in the world is verse 3 and 4 talking about? Well, if we're still talking about Persia and Greece, we have to go back to the original interpretation by the angel in Daniel chapter 8. So when we look at verse 21 and 22, it reads, And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. We know that the first king of Greece was Alexander the Great, and no one from his posterity or his descendant took the throne, but it was divided between his 4 friends or generals. By now it should be very clear that Daniel chapter 8, 9, 10, and 11 are all talking about Persia falling to the Greeks. The rest of Daniel chapter 11 is about the Greek kings fighting amongst themselves. The north and the south kings are Greeks. Let's take verses 30 of Daniel chapter 11. It reads, For the ships of Shittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved and return, and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsook the holy covenant. Verses 30 is confirmation or reiteration of Daniel chapter 8 and 19, which reads, And he said, Behold, I will make thee known what shall be in the last end of indignation. For at the time appointed the end shall be. Let's take a look at what the word indignation means. Indignation, anger or annoyance provoked by what is perceived as unfair treatment. So this king would be angry, annoyed, and furious with the holy people. And in his wrath, he would do something. What he did is found in 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verses 1 to 42. And you can read that in your own spare time. My friends, my next statement is very important. The book of Malachi is the last book of the Old Testament. Malachi lived during the time of the Persian Empire. The book of Matthew is during the time of the Romans. So what happened to the third beast? The beast was important enough for the angel to speak to Daniel in 5 chapters, and somehow the Bible just so happened to skip right over it. My fellow Israelites, the third beast is found in the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha was originally in the 1611 King James Bible, and the Council of Trent in 1546 declared that the Apocrypha was canon scripture. In other words, it was good enough to be a part of the Bible. But the books were later taken out by the Westminster Confession of 1643 and the Reformed churches. Please take some time to look up the Council of Trent and the Westminster Confession of 1643. Now let's keep moving forward. If the third beast was taken out, we would be led to believe that the Romans destroyed Israel in 70 AD. However, the angel said it would be the third beast, and we know that the Romans are the fourth beast. I hope by now you see the sleight of hand and trickery that had been done to us. Why is this third beast so important for us Israelites? We have an enemy that continues to lie to us, and at some point we have to stop and think about what the word liar means. The literal translation for the word liar is someone who tells falsehoods. As we begin to wake up, we are finding many lies that was given to us in Christianity. So I urge you to please take some time to look at the video Israel was not destroyed in 70 AD in our channel. When you take a look at what I just stated and put both videos together, you'll be very surprised how ignorant we have been to the truth. Until next time, shalom, 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 Hebrews.